You're watching Wired Up Retro. It's episode number 89. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you a way to use all sorts of different kinds of controllers on the Atari Jaguar. You know, for years, the Atari Jaguar has only been compatible with basically the standard controller and the Pro controller. But now, with this new controller adapter that I'm going to be showing off in this episode, you can use a lot of old school controllers to control your Jaguar games. Maybe not all Jaguar games, and maybe not all old school controllers, but a number of them. So anyways, I'll be going into this in today's episode. It's actually pretty exciting, and ultimately, you know, you'll be seeing controllers used like a Super Nintendo controller or perhaps a Sega Saturn controller. I've also got some plans to show off a PlayStation 1 controller called the analog joystick, also known as the dual flight sticks controller. Imagine using such an awesome big controller on your flight games for the Atari Jaguar. This could really come in handy. I might even throw in another controller that's even bigger than that, so I'll give you just a picture on the screen there. That's the controller I think you might be really interested in seeing me use on the Atari Jaguar. And it wouldn't be the first time, so you can head to the link I'm showing above. Then you see another episode that involves that particular controller, so check that out. But anyway, let's keep going here. I've basically got Rebooteroids plugged in. This is a game that was made in the past, I don't know, 6-7 years, and ultimately it's a really good example to show off this adapter made by Bliss-Box called the GamerPro Advanced in conjunction with another GamerPro Advanced compatible adapter called the Bridge, made again by Bliss-Box. And that Bridge has the capability of not only having a controller plugged into your Jag, but also other systems like, let's say, Super NES or Gamecube or N64, even, you know, more recently released consoles like PS2. So anyways, yeah, really amazing capabilities this Bridge has. And I'm going to use a Sega Genesis controller to play a little Rebooteroids. And yeah, I'm not getting any lag, which, I mean, no detectable lag anyway. So I can't guarantee you that you will not get zero, or that you'll get zero lag, but I think you'll be close to zero. And to me, that's a pretty good, excellent outcome. Let me go ahead and remove these boxes so you can see the screen a little bit better. All right, so I'm on to level 2. There we go. Yeah, and it's a 3-button game, basically. You can hyperspace with the 3rd button. Uh-oh, yep, took me out. All right. Now I've gotten some extra awesome power-ups here. So as you can tell, I'm getting excellent control. There's another game that works really well with the Sega Genesis controller. Let me switch out to that game, okay? All right, yeah, Tempest 2000. Let's give that a shot with the Genesis controller. And this is the way I played the game in the 90s. These days, I'm playing it more with my rotary controller because, yeah, the rotary controller is awesome. All right, but anyway, I'm used to playing it this way, and I can still have a lot of fun with it. Now I'm going to hit the Super Zapper. Yeah, so I got all 3 buttons working on this Jaguar game, Tempest 2000. All right, so let's move on. I got to keep showing you different games and different controllers, so I'll switch out to a different controller. All right, Raiden is a very fun Jaguar game. This is just a 2-button game, basically. You're going to be firing your primary weapon and then your bombs, but the primary weapon can be upgraded. So the more power-ups you gain, the better off that gets. So I'll just play a little bit of this with my NES controller, a 2-button controller, perfect for this game. So what we have here is a controller adapter product that works on a core group of consoles. It was designed to do that, and requests were made to get it working on the Jaguar. So this has required many hours and days of figuring things out. Some games, like Raiden here, work really, really well, and others just don't. And part of the reason has to do with how the pulling pin of the Jag chips reads the 4 pins that, you know, go in a certain order. In some games they go in the right order, while in others the programmers alter the order, and that can make things a little unpredictable. Now we're going to be showing off the X-Arcade Tankstick here in a moment, but first let me show you how to set up the Bliss-Box GamerPro Advanced adapter and the Bridge. If you're more interested in the gameplay, then skip to the timestamp below. Okay, so I just want to go through a little bit about the products. You can purchase a GamerPro or you can purchase a GamerPro Advanced. Either is going to work. Even the Bliss-Box product called 4Play is a product that can work with this. But yeah, this is the older version, the newer version. This is probably the one I'm going to be highlighting mostly in this episode, so we'll not be going too much into the GamerPro. Now, when you buy any of these products, you're going to be also buying cables that go with those products. Here's a handful of them, and I've got a handful of these cables as well. And your actual GamerPro Advanced is right here, and that's your primary adapter, which you're going to load PC software into. It's the PC compatible firmware that you want. Now, you know, this will enable you to use PlayStation controller, and it goes in like that, okay? So, and then this is going to go into the bridge, which I have here, and behind it are some bridge cables, okay? And let me show you the actual bridge itself. Okay. So when you buy the bridge, it comes with this little connector that goes in here, right into that little HDMI port. All right, and then you just plug this. You don't have to even plug anything into it. You just plug it into your computer. It has to be a PC. Probably Windows 10 is preferred, and you're going to load into it through this USB, the firmware. And then when you're done with it in your computer, loading it with that firmware, then you're going to find the Jaguar compatible cable, plug that into here, and then this is going to get plugged into the actual Jaguar right there. Okay, so you're going to have essentially 4 cables, okay, or 2 adapters and 2 cables. And the Jaguar compatible cable, I'm going to show you how to make this in a few minutes. In case, you know, in a month or so it still isn't being produced, you can make your own, and that's not that hard. Oh, and one more thing, you can buy a Brook compatible Super Converter, plug that into the PlayStation plug right there, and then that will enable you to plug via its USB plug a PlayStation 3 DualShock 3 controller, making that compatible, and then also a PlayStation 4 controller can be plugged into that USB little pluggy. Then you can actually disconnect that plug, and those controllers become wireless, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so anyway, there you go. That's the setup, and next we're going to show you how to make that bridge cable that connects to your Jaguar. I'll just show you how it's assembled. If you want to skip that and just go to the timestamp below, I'll show you a little bit about the software of the Bliss-Box and getting that set up. So there you go. Okay, so we're going to have to make a cord for the Jaguar. You basically want a 4-inch section of this, 5 inches at most. This would just be some random cord I found at the thrift store. It says a DVI digital dual link space shuttle cable. Okay, so yeah, DVI cable will work. It's got the 15 wires inside. Another one that can work is this one. This is a GamePort extension cord, basically 15-pin cable. And I kind of don't want to sacrifice this because I use it on my Atari 5200, or you could even use this on a Neo Geo as an extension cord. So anyway, I'll put this away for now. Let's go ahead and snip this into a section. All right, here we go. There we go. I would think that'll be, I want to go a little longer because we're going to strip off the end of that, and then we're going to strip off the end of this. So I think that should be about right. Okay. So yeah, we'll go around and expose maybe a little more than an inch of this outer casing. That'll come off. There we go. So yeah, there are a lot of different wires in here. On the outer surface, you've got that little mesh of wires. You just want to get rid of that. And then you can kind of peel open the coating that goes around the rest of the wires, which I'm showing here. Kind of just spread out the wires a little bit. Let's snip off that foil coating. So we got one, I think, yeah. Maybe actually two that are wound up together there. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, and then some sort of bare metal piece there. Hopefully they're all different colors. I think they will be. So I'm going to just work on this and I'll come back to it. So after I cut off all the bare metal wires, I ended up with about 18 of these different colored wires. But anyways, there's a lot of white, okay? I am thinking I want to just snip off all the white ones, and that'll pare it down by a number down to 13 instead of 18. And I'm also going to remove a little bit of each tip of the plasticky material there so we can expose some metal so we can get good contact. So yeah, how I removed the wire edge was just kind of pulling it, and I ended up kind of shortchanging myself on two of these wires. This one, I clipped it too soon, a little short. This one's short as well, so I'm going to have to pull these a bit from this side, which means I'm going to have to make this a little bit bigger than that inch and a quarter, inch and a third. I might go to 1.5 inches on this side to extend that. There we go. Okay, so I've got to still clip these little edges off, so let's get working on that. So once you have this all prepped, you're going to want to get your HDMI breakout board. Just grab one of these. And then you're going to want to get your 15 pin, it's basically a VGA connector. So you're going to have to come up with a way to connect the proper pins of this to the proper pins of this. And notice that all these little numbers are designated, so you'll know, okay, well that pin goes to whichever pin here is shown. So let me just show you the diagram. Now on the left side of the diagram is the HDMI connector. It's a male connector, and then that is going to go into the bridge. And then on the right side of the diagram is the Jaguar, and into that goes the 15 pin, what it looks like a VGA male connector. So anyway, just follow this diagram and you're going to be able to set up the cable properly. I'm going to basically first connect the Jaguar controller connector first. So I'm using the little mini screwdriver that came packaged with this 15-pin VGA solderless connector, and we'll just prepare the wire, make sure it'll go straight into the little mini hole there. Once it's in the proper place, then you're going to screw that down, and that's what you're going to end up with there. So it looks like I managed to get it accomplished. Let's go ahead and get the other side connected to the HDMI. And once again, you've got a little tiny hole to put the proper wire into, and then you tighten it down with that screwdriver and it should stay put. You can actually give it a little tug. All right. So yeah, next I'm going to go ahead and put the covering over that to kind of protect the wires, just give it a better appearance. And the HDMI side looks pretty well connected there. All right, let's go on over to the VGA cable or connector side and get that covered up. Okay, so the next section is all about getting the software prepped for the GamerPro Advanced as well as the Bliss-Box bridge. So let's get into that. So there we are. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in to the USB port. And once that's plugged in, we'll get over and take you to the website of blissbox.net. Okay, so now we've arrived. I'm going to hit downloads and we'll scroll on down to, or over here to the blade of GPA. And the GPA download file is right there. You click that. And it's loading it in. And now that it's in, you can just open it up and it'll be on your computer. So next I'm going to go ahead and download the bridge file, the firmware for the bridge. During the making of this video, the website of Bliss-Box got changed, and I'm showing you the new version. You got the downloads section for GPA Advanced, and down here is the blend tool. We'll go into that on another video. Bridge, there we go. At this time, the flash files are here. So you can actually just click on that, go over here to console, and scroll on down to this one right here, which is one of the most recently introduced files. Download it and open it. There's the file right there. So that's the one you're going to use, the latest file. Now we're going to go to the actual software side of things, and we're going to download a couple of little software options. This is the API tool. You'll need that. And you're going to go to the Bliss-Box flasher, and you're going to go ahead and download that as well. Now the API tool I'm not going to get into on this video, but I'm going to open up that bbflasher.exe file. There is our program. So I'm going to go ahead and X out of this one. And you can see there's a section for GamerPro and actually for play. And then there's a section here for the GPA, GamerPro Advanced. And then down here is the bridge section. Okay, so let's go ahead and update the GPA. So while the GPA is plugged in, I have to press the button. When I do that, I will get a message right here that says found. So the GPA has been found. I'm going to press update GPA, and we're going to go down to the GPA.hex file. This is the main PC compatible software for the GPA. Going to press open. It's writing it, and the firmware is now completed. It's updated. All right, now it's time to get the bridge updated with the latest firmware. You want that to be green, so I'm just going to tap the button on the bridge. Once it's tapped, it turns green. Then it gives you the opportunity, just click on that to select your latest bridge file. My latest one is right here at the top. I actually put the date I got it on it. It's erasing, now it's writing, and it has completely rewritten the firmware that's on there using that command prompt window. All right, so yeah, I can unplug this. By the way, if you watch Wired Up Retro episode number 84, I go a little bit extra in depth into the bridge and even troubleshooting. So you can watch episode 84 if you have any issues with it. All right, so let's get playing some games. We'll try a little bit of Zool 2. Okay, I've got my new cable plugged into my Jag along with the bridge and the GPA right here, GamerPro Advanced. And you know, I thought, well, I've already shown you the PlayStation connector connected with this Brook Super Converter, which, as I mentioned before, converts PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 controllers to all this. But I thought, well, maybe it'd be interesting to try something else plugged in here besides a PS3 and PS4 controller. And I've got something interesting called the Ctonusmax Plus, which I have featured on a recent video having to do with GameStation Pro. So I've now plugged that in. This is now not blinking anymore, so it says, hey, I've recognized something that works. This is submitting a PS4 signal in here. I pre-programmed it to go from either PC or PS3 controller to PS4 console. Okay, so now that I've got this in there, what am I going to try out? Well, I'm thinking a PC controller such as the Atari VCS controller, and it has to be in PC controller mode, which is easy to set it in if you read its instructions. Okay, so now I've plugged it in, and I've not got a script running or anything in this Ctonusmax Plus, but you can see here, let me turn this up a little bit. You can fire the button, and you can make them jump by pressing up. Left and right works. There's another interesting PC controller I want to show off here. I'm going to scoot all this back. It's a little bit bigger controller. Okay. This is my Tron multi-controller, which basically is PC compatible. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this here. And I'm not plugging in the trackball, but I'm plugging in the joystick, which will also allow the buttons to work. This is kind of a PS3 compatible controller, or you could say PC. All right. So now, let's see if we can get that working. Left, right, fire button is, there we go. All right, up and left and right. Not detecting any lag, so that's good. Anything else here? So there is a button assigned to jump if you don't want to press up. Interesting. So yeah, you've got the fire button right here. You've also got that jump button. Do you really want the jump button way over here on this side? I'd rather have it over here. So let me go ahead and swap these two buttons. That's actually easy to do with the Bliss-Box products. So you hold these two together, and then you press the start button for about 4 seconds. And once you've done that, then you can let go. And you've got fire there and jump there. You've swapped this over to there. So it's pretty cool. Now you no longer really have to press up anymore. You can just press that button. All right, so yeah, this will work. Now, there's another controller that I want to also show off, which is maybe even a little bigger than this. So let me get that prepared. Okay, so I'm back. I've got my X-Arcade Tankstick hooked up. I've disconnected my Ctonusmax Plus. You're not going to need that to use this method. This actually is a pretty basic method. You won't need the Super Converter by Brook either. So you're going to have your cable, and you're going to have the bridge, and you're going to have the GPA, and instead of a PlayStation controller connector, I want to hook up, let's see what would work with a GameCube controller, which is its special connector. I'm not going to actually play it with my GameCube controller, although I could if I wanted. And we'll plug that into here. There's a special adapter made by the company X-Arcade that works with the X-Arcade Tankstick, and it's called the X-Arcade 5-in-1 or Tankstick 5-in-1, which basically has multiple connectors for use on, let's say, for instance, GameCube, okay? And there is a GameCube connector right here with the 5-in-1. So you buy this separate when you have your X-Arcade Tankstick. You're going to want to probably own that anyways. All right, so yeah, I'm just going to plug it direct into our system with Bliss-Box products. And we now have a light on this console. So let's see how it works. Okay, there we go. One of these buttons should, there's the jump button. Shoot. You can still press up for jumping if you want. So yeah, X-Arcade Tankstick works wonderfully. So that's how to get it to work. I thought I'd show that to you guys. We'll play a little bit of the game and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, obviously Zool 2 is working quite effectively. I also tried Rayman, the game, and that actually performed quite well also. And I understand that Doom works. A lot of people will be interested in that. And Wolfenstein 3D, I confirmed, works as well. Now, some of the games that I tried that didn't work include Atari carts, unfortunately. You can't turn right, you can only go left. But I did get the Supercross game working, so that's kind of great. All right, so anyway, some games are hit, some games are miss. All right, so let's give Cybermorph a try. This is the original release game for the Jaguar, the pack-in game. I'm going to play it with my DualShock 2. Let's go over here at Codex. Try that, plan it out. It says find the pods, grab them and get out quick. So yeah, the nice thing about this kind of controller is it's got thumbsticks. So we'll see how that works out. I'm going to go ahead and figure things out here. To go forward, you press the accelerator, which is right here on R1. And then R2 gets you a different viewpoint, or you could say targeting. And you know, sometimes targeting comes in handy. Let's say you want to take out that post that's up ahead. Switch over to that, and you can kind of line up your shot better. There we go. There we go. But most of the time I want to watch my ship here with the, you know, third-person perspective. Oops. Where are these pods at? I'm gonna have, oh, there we go. Okay, got one. I know. There we go. 1 minute she's yelling at me, the next minute she's complimenting me, huh? I guess that's typical. Looking for the portal. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm kind of navigating just fine with a thumbstick. It's not really an analog game. It's all digital, so you tap, tap, tap. Kind of works better than pressing and holding a thumbstick all the way, because then you move too quickly. Ah, there's another pod. Look at that. You get a bonus point or something. All right, let's see if we can find that portal now. There we go. I'm out of here. Now we're going to move on to another 3D vehicle combat game, which is Hoverstrike. All right, so now I got my Saturn 3D gamepad. It seems to be controlling it. That's good. Going forward, try another button. That's the brake. There we go. Gonna lead the target, I think. Got him. Let's see if the D-pad works. There we go.
Target. Compass. Target. Radar.
Now we're going to give Power Drive Rally and the PlayStation GamePro Racer controller a try. So this is an analog controller. Of course, we're actually just dealing with digital control type gameplay. But yeah, you know, it kind of gives you that steering wheel feel. And I'm going to, you know, just try my best to tilt the wheel and then let go when I'm at the right angle. Sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah, I'm getting the feel of using a steering wheel, which I think is kind of a neat experience on the Jaguar, not one I've never had before. It's such a great little game. I definitely like those little sporty graphics. It's very colorful. I think this is a really nice top-down racer. And yeah, if I could just get the controls down a little bit better, I think I would be having even more fun. It's going to take a little practice to get really good at this. All right, so let's give Trevor McFur and the Crescent Galaxy a try. I've got the old trusty PlayStation controller up and running here. You can use the D-pad. Looks like we've got all buttons present and accounted for. Oh, yeah. So there's your mine, or whatever you call it. Okay. And then that's your special weapon. That changes your special weapon. I think switching back and forth between the two that you have. There we go. All right, so I want to show you something interesting. Let's go ahead and unplug this. I've got a Brook PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 2 adapter. So I'm going to plug that in to this. And now I'm going to plug my PS3 controller into the Brook adapter with its regular USB connection. Let's go ahead and plug them in. And there we go. And it looks like we got connection. Ah, there we go. Now the nice thing about this Brook adapter is that you can unplug from it and this will auto connect. So now we're playing with a wireless PS3 DualShock 3, and looks like we're getting great control. There's definitely no lag that I'm picking up on, so I'm pleased about that. Absolutely fantastic. And I think it'd also be pretty fantastic to play with the DualShock 4 on my Jaguar. So we got that plugged into the Brook, and now I just disconnected. It is wirelessly connected. And you know what? It's feeling just as good and as comfortable as it was with the PlayStation 3 controller. Definitely not detecting any lag. I don't know, this controller just has a really, really great feel for this type of game. All right, so I've got Atari Star Wars, the arcade game, on my Jaguar. It's actually the Atari ST version, which was made in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. But yeah, that early 90s version of the game has been ported over to the Jag. They've actually added some voice samples to it, and they've actually added mouse support. Although, what I'm going to be showing you in a minute, even though it involves a trackball, it isn't going to be using the ST mouse mode or the Amiga mouse mode as shown here, but it's going to use the JagPad mode, which is basically you activate that by plugging in your Jaguar controller and pressing the 1 button. Okay, once you've got that set up, then you're going to plug in your Bliss-Box system, and I'm going to go ahead and move this trackball. Look at this. This is my Sega Master System controller. There we go. And it's called the Sega Sports Pad. And yeah, I'm getting actually very nice control. I'm having to hold this up so you guys can see it, which isn't the ideal, but you get the idea. It's working very, very well. I can just pinpoint my fire. And you know, I own a mouse that is compatible with this game, and I've shown that on another wired up retro, how that was working with my X-Arcade Tankstick trackball, which was incredible. But this feels very similar to that trackball. So anyway, I'm getting great results. Now I did try this with my actual Atari trackball, my CX22, my CX80, and what I was noticing was the button press wasn't getting any laser fire, unfortunately. It was assigned to the wrong button, basically. So in order to get your CX22 or your CX80 working, you're going to need a special setup. So I'm going to show that to you here in a moment. So here I have a Sega Master System gamepad, and I've got it set up with a splitter cable, a 9-pin splitter, connected to the Atari 2600 trackball, which is the CX22. And there also has to be a 9-pin extension cord added to the splitter cable for this to work. But yeah, it enables me to get that button press that I really want. It's on the right button, so there we go. We're all clear, kid. And there goes the Death Star. Bye-bye. All right.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Now the Atari trackball can also work for playing Tempest 2000, but definitely keep in mind that you have only 2 active buttons with the Master System gamepad added on, not 3, so that'll limit your gameplay options. Okay, so I've got my Master System splitter cable method set up, so I'm going to go ahead and go down to Tempest Plus. I think it's very sensitive. Oh, traditional. Okay, we'll try traditional. But anyway, I'll just show you that you can get Super Zapper with that second button on the traditional method version. I mean, you can actually pretty much pinpoint where you're going to go here. It's really nice. All right. So I'll show you Tempest Plus, okay? All right, so we'll give this a try, Tempest Plus. Now, I did try this with the splitter cable method. Not so great. So yeah, you'll need the CX22. I did get motion without the splitter cable method using that CX80, but the CX80 unfortunately is just not going to work because it doesn't have a button function. And since the splitter cable method isn't really working out, then that kind of limits what that controller can do. Yeah, so yeah, we're getting, I'd say, pretty good control. It's maybe not quite as great as having the actual rotary controller, which I do own for my Jaguar, but I would say this is second best, and it's pretty accurate. And you can kind of go, watch me, slow, and then fast. Pretty fast, I would say. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? All right, so let's try another game that might offer something kind of unique. Now, World Tour Racing is a game that I was trying with my PlayStation controller. I was running into some control issues, so we're not going to be using that. So I plugged in my Genesis controller. I also plugged in a Saturn controller. These tend to work. In fact, I really like the feel of this analog thumbstick for this game. It just has a special quality to it. So I'm going to basically get the game rolling here, and you get to see me in action playing some Jaguar virtual reality type racing. Okay, you can change your view, I think, on this. I need to change my view. There we go. Much better. It kind of reminds me of virtual racing with the changing views. Doesn't look as nice. It's a little pixelated. You gotta let off the gas when you get the corners. Once you get kind of tuned into how to control the game, I think it becomes very enjoyable with the Saturn 3D controller. You can see I'm doing all right. Slow down, slow down. And yes, there is a brake if you press that, I think it's the middle button. Slow down. Yep, that's the brake. All right, there we go. You kind of get good at it to where you don't need to use the brake hardly at all. Just knowing when to slow down is the key. It is a little herky-jerky. The frame rate, it leaves a little bit to be desired. There's another controller I want to show off here. Let's give that a shot. So here I have the Quickshot QS 156. You can actually change views in the cockpit view here. There we go. Okay, get ready to brake. Brake. You know, of all the Jag CD games, this is actually one of the more respectable ones that can actually really be an enjoyable game experience once you're dialing it in on the controls. Get up there. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to move on to a new game here in just a moment. Definitely wanted to show you this, though. Jaguar actually is capable of some really fast speed. All right, well, I have to settle for 8. Anyway, pretty cool, huh? Can actually use a steering controller on the Jaguar. I'm really kind of psyched about this. There might be something else I'll show you here, so let's see what I got. Another game that is really quite respectable to play on the Jaguar CD is Battlemorph, which is a sequel to Cybermorph. In this game, you basically have these unique tunnels to go through, and you know, they got little barriers, so you're going to have to find the button to shoot at to open up a barrier. And yeah, I'm using that joystick controller, and it allows you to line it up and get it in your sights there. There's a key. I'm going to go to the end of the tunnel and enter a new area of the gameplay. Let's take a look here what's ahead. Okay, we're back out into the open. It's also interesting that you can actually take a dive in the water, and sometimes there's some fish to shoot at under there. The game looks definitely a little better than Cybermorph. It's more versatile gameplay. I definitely think it's one of the Jaguar's better games. When you're in the tunnel, sometimes lining up your shots does seem a little bit challenging. Even with a gamepad of a Jaguar controller, it can be a little bit interesting. Well, okay, we're coming down the home stretch. Our final Jag game for today's episode will be played with a notorious controller from the 90s. Now, on some Jaguar games, you've got to start the game with the gamepad, okay? I found this to be true on a couple of them. You know, they just wouldn't start with the GamerPro Advanced and the bridge. So we'll try the Marine game and see how that goes. Select character. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug this, and it should work. I've got an interesting controller to try on this game. For those of you who were playing Jag games back in the day, back in the 90s, everybody was like competing. All these consoles were in a console war, and the Jaguar was in a war with the 3DO. So why not try Alien vs. Predator with the 3DO controller? Now, I noticed something about the games made by Rebellion on the Jag, and that is, if you tap it, it's got a slight little bit of a lag. And that's the same with Checkered Flag. It's got a little bit of lag to it. And a lot of the other games on the Jag with this Bliss-Box system don't have lag, that I'm perceiving anyway. But on this one, I did kind of slightly detect it. So anyway, just letting you know, there's that issue with the Rebellion games. And I don't think it's too bad of a lag. It's slightly noticed. But yeah, I played this game to death back when I was a kid. Or I wasn't a kid, but I was quite a bit younger than I am now. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh boy. Took him out. Okay, I wonder if there's any more of them around here. Hopefully I'll find some ammo. What do we got here? Canteen. Oh, there they are. I better start going. Oh my goodness. Turn around. I think I picked up a med kit or something. I don't know what that was. Oh, it was a security key. All right, I need to find some med kits here. He's chasing me. Shotgun ammo. I think I need some of that. Pulse rounds. Okay. That actually gave me a start. All right, so yeah, the 3DO controller, it's working pretty well for Alien vs. Predator, so I have to give props to Trip Hawkins and his team. They made a good controller, and might as well use it on the Atari Jaguar, right? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I had a lot of fun making it today. There may be more future episodes having to do with the Bliss-Box products being used on consoles, whether it be Jaguar or maybe Super Nintendo, Atari 5200. I can think of a variety of different consoles I want to try it out on. So yeah, just stay tuned. Definitely subscribe if you haven't, and if you are looking for a channel that talks about controllers, you've come to the right channel for sure. All right, well, I hope you guys keep having fun gaming out there and enjoy your life. All right, take care.